Apologies for the long post, but I need some outside perspectives now that the shock has passed. Names and countries, apart from trip destination, have been changed for privacy. Disclaimer that the story is true, but since I am way too much of a detailed writer, I did use AI to concise my text, in case any section sounds a bit formal/robotic. For context, I, 25F, moved from Argentina to the UK with my mom, 46F, when I was 17. We became part of a close-knit group of Argentinians abroad. My mom grew close to a woman her age, who had a daughter, Maria, 17F. Maria and I became like sisters. She was 8 when we met, and we bonded over shared interests like anime and cosplay. Over the years, we often talked about visiting Japan together, since I really wanted to go and she wanted to travel for her sweet 16. When Maria turned 16, her parents and I began discussing making the trip happen. By this time, I had been dating my boyfriend, 32M, for 3 years, and I wanted him to come along. He hadn't traveled much, and I wanted to share this experience with him. Her parents were fine with this arrangement, as it also meant they only had to pay for Maria's trip. I spent a year planning everything. A month-long trip across Japan with daily itineraries, train schedules, and accommodations. I even made an online guide so everyone could comment on the plans. I warned them multiple times that it would be a physically demanding trip with early mornings, long walks, and summer heat. While it was her 16th present from her parents, we made sure to state it was a shared trip with things for all of us, and not to babysit and take Maria around. Maria's parents assured me she was independent and mature, citing past solo trips with her godmother and a friend. After a 32-hour journey, we finally arrived in Tokyo exhausted. While I was eager to head to the hotel, Maria insisted on doing her makeup, in case we found any spots for photos, which took over 30 minutes. I brushed it off, but it became a pattern. The next morning, as I organized our hotel room, Maria spent 2:30 literally counted on the clock doing her makeup. I told her she was welcome to take her time, but she needed to wake up earlier if she wanted to keep up with our schedule. I would let her know the day before what time we needed to leave. The first day went well, apart from her odd behavior. She only spoke our native language, even though my boyfriend doesn't speak it, and we're all fluent in English, and repeatedly interrupted him to stay by my side. She loved Takeshita Street and spent hours shopping. But when I mentioned there were no dedicated shopping days, her mood soured. While I took everyone's preferences into account, there were no specific shopping days planned, as no one, including Maria, had made such requests, and it wasn't important to me. She started pushing for visits to specific stores, even getting her parents to call and say she could go out alone. I firmly said no. It wasn't safe for a 16-year-old unfamiliar with the city, language, or culture to wander alone, especially since I had signed a letter claiming responsibility for her. I did say I would try to fit things where possible. As the days went on, Maria became increasingly difficult. She complained about the heat, walking, and activities she found boring, like temples and nature spots. At every site, she'd sit and wait for us rather than exploring, and kept sighing and blowing air, rolling eyes, anything to show how unhappy she was. She was also messy, leaving her belongings scattered around the room, including a used open pad and finished food packaging, and frequently made us late despite waking up early for her makeup routine that used all spaces and made it hard for us to get ready as well. When my 2 best friends from Argentina joined us on day 5, things escalated. Maria started refusing to wake up early, so I gave her the option to stay at the hotel and meet us later. However, I had to go back to pick her up, which was time-consuming and not feasible to do more times. That evening, we met an old school friend who didn't speak English. We spent the evening reminiscing in our native language while my boyfriend relaxed, knowing it was a social day. Despite my efforts to include Maria, she stayed on her phone and barely participated. Later, she pulled me aside, crying that she felt ignored, wanted to go home, and believed I only cared about my boyfriend. She even criticized my relationship, saying I deserved better because of minor disagreements I'd had with him over the heat. I was shocked but tried to reassure her. I explained how much time and money I had spent planning the trip. FYI, I'm a full-time uni student and work 30h/week, and that I was trying to accommodate her interests. I also reminded her that she had been isolating my boyfriend by refusing to speak English. After this, Maria's parents called, and her mom apologized, admitting Maria could be immature and hoped the trip would help her grow. I was frustrated because I had expected a responsible travel companion, not someone I had to teach independence to. A couple of things were expected as she's a teenager, but not to have an issue with everything. Still, I tried to move forward. When it was just the three of us again in Nagoya, things hit a breaking point. We were heading to Ghibli Park, the part of the trip I was most excited about. Despite repeated reminders, Maria wasn't ready on time. My boyfriend, visibly frustrated, vented loudly to me saying, "Why does a 16-year-old need so much makeup? It's hot and it will melt and look shit anyway like the other days, and it's you that have to pay for not enjoying what you planned." Maria heard this and shut down. I later tried to mediate, explaining that while my boyfriend's tone wasn't ideal, his frustration was valid. She started calmly denying everything. But when I pointed out her immature behavior, she snapped, raising her voice, accusing me of being controlling and storming off. I called her parents again, and her mom apologized profusely, saying Maria was overwhelmed but for me try and understand her side. I told them I couldn't keep accommodating her if it meant sacrificing everyone else's experience. From that point on, I started leaving Maria at the hotel if she wasn't ready or interested in the day's plans. I ensured she had food, money, and a charged phone. She spent the last week of the trip largely by herself, sulking when we crossed paths. Though I was upset with how weird the vibe was, it were the best days of the trip. We actually got to enjoy everything we wanted, had good vibes all day, and I was kind of glad she wasn't with us. In the hotel, she wouldn't speak with us, not even to say excuse me, would bump on us instead, which I called her attention on plenty of times. She would also be in bed the whole time we prepared to sleep, and wait for us to go to bed to get up and start turning lights on, make noise, rearrange luggage, etc. Clearly petty for me, but with how much we were doing out, we were tired enough to sleep through it. The last day, again she decided to stay in the hotel, but as we were walking around a shopping center, we saw her in the street. I was very upset that she was out without letting us know or anything. That even if her parents knew and had given the okay, if something happens, they still have to fly out. I'm here and have to sort it out. So how could I if I didn't even know where she was? I will never know, but wouldn't be surprised if she had done this the other days too. Just to mention that with all of this, every time I mentioned something or called her out in the trip, she never said sorry, always okay, or excuses. I think I was a bit of an AH, though I'm not sorry either way. My boyfriend and friends, however, think I went above and beyond to accommodate her. Did I mishandle the situation? Or was Maria's behavior too much? Anyway, lessons were learned. What do you think? Ida?